Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonguy922. One Piece chapter time. The 5th day of 12 days of anime. You guys want to go check out that. Day 5. One Piece chapter, though. Time to do it. 732, Manga Stream came out with it. This one was pretty good, but I will say that it wasn't as great. I was going to do a live reaction vid, but it doesn't work when the chapter isn't like surprising. There wasn't anything to it that really jumped at me. So it doesn't work that way. But yeah, 732 of One Piece, chapter 732, the underground world. We got Luffy and a lizard playing beach flags. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. This one was very good. Pretty much they're ready to go into the battle. Soldier-san and the dwarfs and the bugs and everything, and they're ready to go and knock out Sugar. Pretty much. What was good about this chapter, though, and I'm probably going to give this 3.5 out of 5. I know. Actually, you know what? I'll give the same rating I gave the Bleach 4. Because they were both big. Even though One Piece was great last week, oh my god. This week it wasn't better than last week, but it was still good. A good setup anyway. And what was good about it was not only did we get the setup of what's to come, which is basically Franky and what's going on there, but we got an explanation about the hierarchy in Doflamingo's army. About who's what, where, and who is in what army and stuff. With, Diamante, Treble, and Pika. And when I found interesting, obviously this translation is so much better than Manga Panda, is the people who are in Diamante's army are no joke. More importantly, it was said in this chapter that the 4 guys who are like the executives in his army would have a 100% success rate in the Colosseum if they fought there. That is insane. Now, basically, like I said, I'm not going to go too much for the summary, but in the beginning we had, them ready to go out and just explain the training port and, how they're going to have to knock out this girl Sugar, and then the resulting factor would regain all the toys their human forms. There's this tunnel that apparently Robin and Usopp could barely fit in, but Franky can't. So, one of the dwarfs is saying we prepared it without having big humans in mind, and saying that you'll have to enter via the toy house. And basically Toy-san's saying the plateau that's home to the royal palace, that's where the toys return to at the end of each night. Humans are forbidden from entering. And though it's called a house and anything but, he's just explaining that. It's simply a long underground passageway. And he also explains to Usopp that they make the toys work night and day, and he's like, that's just despicable, Usopp, saying. And he's like, enters the way, will he gain access to the Smiley Factory as well? And Franky's basically saying, it works for me. There are 4 entrances, all perpendicular to each other, but each is heavily guarded. So either way, he's going to get to the Smiley Factory. Work to our advantage. Then he shows up in front of the toy house. And basically he's also saying it should buy you time to take care of Sugar. And then he this entrance with Franky was ridiculous. He's like, that guy's working a Speedo. The goons of Senor Pink. Oh, by the way, Senor Pink kind of looks like Nostradamus. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't want to do it. but kind of looks like Nostradamus. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nostradamus. Kind of looks like you. He kind of looks like you. Anyway, when he shows up, he has this hairdo, Frankie, with a cannon. I was like, if he starts shooting stuff from that hairdo, I am losing. I'm going to lose it. But he shows up, and there's like, saying, he's got a double shifted chin and everything, Cyborg Frankie. And then we get introduced to Senor Pink. And there's this one girl there, oh, senor, if you stuff your face like that with tomatoes, it will get all sticky. And then he just rips the girl's bra off, bikini bra, and wipes his face with it. And it was like, oh my god, it was so ridiculous. This Senor Pink is like ridiculous looking. But yeah, he shows up and he's like saying, don't get all personal, space ladies. And they're all surrounding him. I'm like, Jesus, who is this guy? They shouldn't call him Senor Pink. They should call him Pimp Pink. Yeah. Get him a pink suit and a purple tie and say, the Pimp Daddy is here. Because that's what he is. He's a pimp. He's all surrounded by these girls and saying, you should spend your time frolicking with younger men. And he's like saying, I need like the more seasoned. And then Frankie says, just my luck, get the pervert. He's like, you don't want to talk. It was very funny, this part with Frankie. So he ends up fighting them. And this guy is reporting to him, says, remember the strike group, Royborg Frankie is in front of the toy house. And he's like, coup de vent. And he freaking blows the freaking entrance of the toy house factory. Just blows it up. I was like, holy shit. So that's what he ends up doing. So, and pretty much they all fall down in there, and then, Doflamingo's basically saying to himself, so didn't I tell you those jackass would start making a scene? Thought it was your duty to protect the interests of a country in good graces with the world government. I think he's talking to Fujitora in this, and then we have Diamante saying, so it has begun, and at the same time we have Pika listening in as well. And they're firing at Frankie pretty much, and we have Trevel talking to Sugar, saying the toy house is under attack, ignore them. What the Straw Hat Crew really wants is a Smile Factory, and on the off chance they did make it this far, you'd simply turn them into toys. They don't even know what hit them. Not a single one of them knows what you're capable of. And she says, yep. I'm a little worried about that. Because she's saying that. I mean, for what we know, she turns people into toys by touching them. I just wonder, is there something else? The way Trevel was saying that, it was very, very concerned. But anyway, after that, we got them walking through the tunnel. Soldier-san and everyone else. And Soldier-san's basically saying he hopes he stays safe, Frankie, and so on and so forth. There's no need to worry. He's a super cyborg. And then they start talking about the executive staff and saying that one of the dwarfs says, when it comes to fighting, this is the point I meant, fighting prowess, can't say that. All four boast 100% win percentage. They're the Coliseum's biggest draws. And that's when we get Senor Pink. I didn't realize this when I first read it on Manga Panda. I'm going to say it right now. Senor Pink has one or two devil fruits. One, swim fruit, or two, the stroke fruit. Because what's happening is, I think this is what happens. He has the ability to swim anywhere. What I mean by that? He could swim and dive in physical objects, in solid objects. Because we look behind Frankie and we see him swimming in the ground, like sneaking up to him. I'm like, very peculiar, very peculiar. And basically, Dwarf saying no one knows really knows their full potential since no one's pushed them that far. And then, one of the dwarfs also saying that approximately There are 10 executive staff that command 2,000 underlings in the country. And then on top of that, we have the 3 elite executive staff members who oversee them all. And then we get a little page of everything. Don Quixote family. We have Trouble forces, Diamante forces, Pica forces. I should know that Monet and Virgo are not part of this group. They're part of the super executives. And it's kind of weird because when you look at Pica's group, who is under him, it makes sense that they are called the Special Ops. Because you got Baby 5 and Buffalo. We already saw them do Special Ops. And Gladius, I got a feeling, big trouble in him. Big trouble in him. And then we get Diamante's forces, which is Lao G, Senor Pink, Derringer, and this other guy. Oh my god. This other guy has got me shaking my boots. Mark Weiss. Manga Panda was obviously the wrong translation. If it's Vice, I'm telling you, it's going to be something where he crushes things. That's all I'm going to say. And as far as you got also Treble, him is questionable because right now his executives, all he has is sugar. Because Violet has left and Jorah has been defeated. She's been defeated. So, it's along those lines. I believe she's been defeated. So, we have all that being sorted out. And, Usopp saying a little pun, saying, I won't be able to fight them, and so on and so forth. And they apologize because he gets knocked in the wall. And they basically arrive to the underground location that holds both the training port and factory. And they hear a bunch of noises of people talking. And then they go outside. And, they're outside already. And Robin's peeking onto the side to look and see what's going on. And Usopp's like, what's going on? I heard something. And then we see it. Now, for the rest of the video, I want to talk about this page. People have been doing a little buzzing about what the story here is. Basically what's happening is we have these two guys arguing, saying, oh, you're just acting like this because you're here the backing of Joker. And at the same time, we look off to the right side of the panel, you see ships with animals as they're at the front of the ship. They're these wooden-shaped animals. At least I think they're made of wood. I'm going to agree with everybody what they're saying. Those ships belong to Kaido. I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree on this. Most likely, those belong to Kaido. You know what's weird? I'm getting really excited for One Piece. I complained in my live stream last night on Tuesday that I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm really excited about it. It's like, it's infectious. But yeah, those probably belong to Kaido. So this is getting very intriguing now. We have this war going on, this battle going on with Doflamingo and the Straw Hats and the Dwarves and the Toys, and at the same time, you have it on the side there. These ships might belong to Kaido. Tell me what you guys think if you think I'm wrong about this, but I think it belongs to Kaido. And then we have these toys saying, I'm still able to work, help me. And then Usopp's like, what the hell am I looking at? It's some type of massive pier. And that's pretty much what ended on happening at the end of the chapter. Now, and the actual page, what you see is there's 3 ships, one with the head of a geese, one the head of a giraffe, and one the head of a hippopotamus. So I'm thinking that those ships. I mean, you can't really tell because there's no you can't really tell on this page who specifically, because you can't tell of a Jolly Roger there. There is no Jolly Roger there. You can't really tell if it belongs to Kaido. But it's still, it can be suggested. Now, like I said, 4 out of 5. This is going to be a good setup. The only thing I really want to talk about towards the end of this video is I want to go in on this Kaido thing. If those are his ships and they're getting stuff in and they're ready to go attack the factories, already, it's like warning signs for me. Warning signs. Because I just have a feeling that if they attack the factories now, while they're doing that, this might put more pressure on Doflamingo. This might bring in Kaido sooner than later. But that's just my hypothesis on it. Just my 2 cents because of what's going down here at the moment. You know, I like what Oda's doing here. I like the fact that he's showing that off. Like, hey, just to guys let you know, Kaido, those might be Kaido ships. Those might be Kaido ships. It's a possibility. As far as everything else, I mean, you know, Franky, and I gotta wonder if that's what Senor Pink's ability is. What the hell is Lao G's that Vice guy? That Vice guy. I mean, Dillinger, we don't know. He didn't do anything. He just beat up on Bellamy. That's all he did, Dillinger. We don't know his abilities. But as far as Lao G is concerned, Vice, I'm going to say, he crushes things. No, that's my 2 cents on it. And Lao G, who knows? We have to wait and see. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Bankai 922. Ooh, man, this chapter was pretty good. Good setup. Kaido, he's there. Those were ships. Yo, this is going to be awesome. I'm getting excited for One Piece. Getting excited. Should be awesome. I'm Bankai 922. I will see you guys later. Peace. Nostradamus. You look like Senor Pink.